Okay. So the date is the 27th of July, 2026. Um, I wasn't really honest with how my life was going because I talked a lot about how I wanted the channel to be authentic, and I would act like I was solving problems when I was either just prolonging them or relapsing. And at this point, like, I want to give an accurate representation of what my life is like right now. Just to kind of pull back the curtain, because I don't want people taking my advice and then saying they ended up in a different spot than me. So I talked a lot about self-worth and my self-esteem in my earlier videos, maybe at the start of the year, and I have not made any progress on my self-worth. I thought I had, and I was just covering it up. And then I got really drunk at a party, and I decided to, separate myself, and a few friends came with me, a few closer friends at the time. And they told me about how when I blacked out, I talked about how I hated myself and wanted to end my life. And I mean, this wasn't the night was fuzzy blackout. This was, I drank way too much liquor, like, and then I felt dizzy 1 second, and the next second I was waking up in my own vomit. Um, Obviously not really healthy, but anything to run away from that low self-esteem. And clearly, when I get to that point of running away, it comes back up again. So I don't really know what to say. All the progress I thought I made, I didn't make any. I still think I'm a piece of shit, and still no progress in fixing that. And all the other problems I so-called solved on top of that weren't really solving anything, because the core problem was still there. So what to do now, because lately I've just been eating a lot of, what do you call it, candy, brownies, and every night just as many as I can take, and then just lay in bed or go on a walk in the night, feel horrible. And it used to be a safe space getting like that, but last night I genuinely felt if I had a piece in my hand, I would pull the trigger. I, and like, where do you go from that when you just feel so horrible? I don't know what step to take next, and it's nothing I can solve in my physical world. It's not like I can make more money or become more successful to fix this. And even driving here today, I was just thinking about how one little turn of the wheel, one little just movement of my hand could make everything go quiet. But I don't want to cause damage if I go. I just want to disappear quietly, you know? But it seems like every time I get hammered enough, even when I'm by myself, whenever I drink enough to completely black out where something like that would happen, I usually just end up throwing up. Can't hold it down enough, and you can't overdose on the kind of candies I'm taking, so I guess lucky. But especially last night, it became really like it became really close. Like I was just wanted to disappear. And I just don't want to preach about being authentic and talking about my problems authentically when this is how I'm really doing. And in terms of my success, I'm losing my job. My car broke down. I'm moving back in with my parents. Those could all have separate videos, but yeah, I'm moving back in with my parents. No car, losing my job, and so that's kind of how things are going. And then every night just getting as high as possible. Sometimes drinking, usually both. Still haven't stopped smoking, clearly. And all the problems that made me hate myself. And I used to think about how people treated me at school back in high school, and my teachers, what they would say, what other people around me would say, and to be honest, they were all right, you know? Like, nowadays, they kind of shifted what it meant to be a loser. They used to call losers people who did really good in school, you know? But now people who do really good in school also party and they do all this stuff, and everybody's unique and everybody's just got their own personality and everybody's so accepting of everyone's differences. But in a society of like over acceptance, I was still always the loser. And I think, that never changed. I left high school, so less people were calling me a loser, but it didn't change the fact that I was. And like, what do you do about that? What do you like, how do you take that? Oh, but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know what I'm gonna do, honestly. Like, what do you do when something is so wrong with you that achieving anything couldn't solve it? If I made $1 million, I would not be fixed. I'd probably just buy enough stuff to not wake up in the morning. But yeah, bit of a bummer of a video. I don't know. Just thought it'd be better to be honest than act like I was actually making progress. So if anyone thought about following in my footsteps from my videos where I talk about my struggles, I wouldn't really suggest it. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I don't know. I might make more videos in the future. I might not. But yeah, if not, thanks for watching. That's the end of the video.